Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Good to see you again. Yesterday, I competed in the Booster Box Treasure Cup that happened. I ended up taking 12th place with Green Purple Luffy. Was very happy with how I performed and how the games went. Made a couple mistakes, but we learned from those. And I actually got to interview the winner of the event, who was also playing Green Purple Luffy. Good friend of mine, Gavin, from Straw Hats Are Cool. Super excited that he was able to take it home 9-0. He played through a gauntlet of matchups. So we went through an interview of what his deck list looked like, how some of the matches went, where he thinks there's maybe some changes. So a lot of great information right here. I will say, though, small mistake on my part. I didn't record on the right audio track, so there is going to be some music from my Spotify that we were listening to because this was all recorded while live on Twitch and YouTube here. So there's a bit of a, bit of music in the background that I typically don't play here on YouTube, but it's not a big deal. Yeah, you can still hear the interview and everything perfectly fine. But hope you guys enjoy. Let us know if you have any questions in the comments below. Let me introduce you, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, probably doesn't need much of an introduction because he hasn't been uploading very much, kind of like me as of late, but is one of the OG One Piece content creators, the GOAT. Straw Hats Are Cool, the man, the myth, the legend. Dude, you got a regionals finalist playmat right here, but now you're going to have a champion playmat because you literally taken first place with Green Purple Luffy today, bro. Congrats.
Thank you. I'm stoked about that. The mat is probably the only thing I'll keep.
Yeah, yeah. I know that feeling, dude. Like when I got my second place, I was like, dude, I'm not getting rid of this mat. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever, bro. That's so sick, man. Well, dude,
now I can go X2 at locals with a champion.
Yeah,
so
let's go.
Who's the real winner,
Yeah. Bro, that's literally my life. Okay. That's funny. So you just took the time to go through and figure out what your matchups were. What were your matchups today in the 9 rounds that you played?
All right, so I don't know what my round 1 opponent played because they just said, "Hey, you got it." Peace. The classic.
Yeah, he didn't know he was giving it to the winner. Yeah.
The round 2 was Gecko Moria.
Whoa. Okay.
That was probably one of the closest games I had all day.
Oh, dang.
I played against a Bonnie.
Yep.
Round 3.
Dang, how'd you beat that?
They bricked. They bricked bad.
Did they ever see Kid?
They did.
Oh, they did?
And
okay.
It died to an 8k swing when they had like 6 cards in hand.
Oh my god. Okay. You're just blessed. Okay.
Yeah. Then we played against Pluffy round 4.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay. The Goat Red Purple round 5.
Ooh.
Usopp round 6.
What? Dang, alright.
Lim round 7.
Oh my god, dude, you went through the gauntlet.
And then we played against the Zoro round 8. That I don't know how I pulled that one out of my ass. That game was insane. And then I played against Reiju in the finals.
What? Yo, okay.
You know what I'm saying? These are like the most insane, like weird matchup, but it was awesome because we were like undefeated the whole time. It's just like all these wacky decks, and then I had to come and shit on their parade with.
You're like, yeah, bro. Have you heard of our Lord and Savior Green Purple Loof? Oh my god. All right, that's funny. Dang, man. All right, well, obviously you crushed. You said Gecko was the closest. Was there any other matchups?
It was one. The Lim.
The Lim was close.
Threw.
Oh, he threw. Okay.
They could have won, and they got scared and tried to play for another turn, which they should not have done.
Yeah. So you
because I know they had the Mihawk in hand because they searched it, and if they just would have used it the turn prior, I would have exploded.
Sounds about right.
The Zoro was the most stressful game I played today.
Okay.
They like mulgunned my Sanji pudding the turn following that I played it, and I had nothing else on board, and they had like a full board, but Electrical Luna goes kind of crazy, and we had 4 giants. So
I mean, hey, giant's a pretty good card. I see it on top of the deck, man. Do you want to show us a little bit of the deck list?
Sure. So of course, 4
Oh,
copies of the Gum
wow.
Gum
I'm
Giant.
surprised.
That's a
Normally
real
I see
surprise, I'm
3.
sure.
Yeah.
Again, it's a pretty straightforward deck list. We got 4 Zoro Joro.
Yep.
You know, we like searchers in this deck because
Absolutely.
everything replaces itself. For 2Ks, I was running 10.
Oh, wow.
Had 4 Sanji, 4 started at Kusuhachi, and then the OG.
Okay.
That's just kind of another 3-drop.
Yeah. I can see it.
I never played it out, but I have before, and it's been kind of nice.
Yeah, I had a game against Jonas where he played one out, and I knew that it was going to be a problem for me. So I had to play 4-cost Zoro to get rid of it and get it off the board because I knew it was going to be a problem card.
Yeah. You know, 4 more searchers because we don't run enough of those. 4 Sanji Pudding because that's the reason to play the deck. I had 2 of this Frankie.
Ooh.
I only had 2 of the Zoro, but I didn't play against Lucci, so it didn't matter.
Wow. That's, yeah, good for you. That's surprising. I played against
2 of the Tony.
Interesting.
These cards are the Frankie and the Chopper
Mm.
kind of fill the same shoes. One's just to put on more pressure, whereas Chopper's more defensive.
So do you, out of curiosity, with the Chopper, did you feel as though there were times where you maybe, were you punished at all for playing it to the field, or did you just immediately get to block?
My opponents thought they were punishing me for playing it, but every time I played it, I had, where'd my other one go? I run 2 Luffy Taros. There's another one somewhere. I had 3 characters on board, or 4 characters, so I was just able to play Luffy Taro with something else if I wanted to get rid of it.
Okay, so you just play over
So if
it.
they tried to ignore it, like, they actually just kind of did nothing, where it effectively blocked because they didn't swing with anything anyways. And then I just played Luffy Taro over it with usually another Sanji Pudding.
Yeah.
I actually did that like 2 or 3 times today, where they like, the Bonnie, it happened against the Bonnie where they played the Apu. To rest it and ignore it, and then I'm just like, okay, cool. Luffy Taro, Sanji Pudding replaced the Chopper, and now I have Dawn to Infinity.
And they're like, my 2K though on the board.
Yep.
All right.
3 of the Secret.
Yep.
3 Luna cards broken.
It's so good. It's actually ridiculous.
Like, I mean, I played it in the finals game. I played it in the Zoro game. Like, all of my later games, this was like the key card.
Yeah.
3 event searcher, or 4 event searcher, 4 stage, and then 2 Gatling.
Interesting. Okay. So you and I have a couple of different changes of ratios and whatnot of different cards, but man, that's awesome. That is awesome. You crushed with that. 10 2Ks. That's got to feel good. I definitely need to find the space for.
Honestly, though, I feel like you could very easily just like swap these for 2 more of this or something, because what I found today was that almost every time I was using a 2K, I could have used a 1K. So it's like not as impactful as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I can definitely agree. I'm running 8 myself, so I felt pretty comfy at the 8, but
the only problem I've had with some of the games when I was testing is just sometimes you really just brick because
yeah. You are not lying. It's crazy though, because you don't run any gamma knives. Did you not? Did you not have any fear towards the Bonnie matchup at all?
Well, to be honest, I kind of figured even if I'm playing it, the chances of finding it aren't great.
That's fair.
And it's not super relevant into other matchups.
Yeah.
It's like, technically you can search it off this, right?
Yes. That's the only way to find it, yeah.
Yeah, but it's just like, I don't know. It only searches 3, and it's like, do I really want to put another brick that's kind of useless most of the time in here? So I just said, if they got it, they got it. And they didn't, so it worked.
That's a great rule of thumb. Man, that's awesome though. That's awesome. I was experimenting a little bit myself with the Frankies and the Choppers, but clearly it did really well for you. I had 2 Lucci matchups, so I was running 4 of the Zoros, and I think it worked really well for me, personally.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but I can definitely see where you're coming from with this. Is there, pardon me, is there any changes that you would make to the list after running the 9-0 gauntlet?
Well, like I said, I'd probably get rid of this Uso Hachi and do another Zoro,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 4, and then another Frankie or Chopper or something if I didn't. Um, I really like the Frankie.
Okay.
It's just nice having something to play on 3 if you go first and don't have any searchers or anything else to do.
Right.
It kind of won me my Ploofy game because that was one that could have gone south very quickly, but I won on turn 4.
Oh, wow.
Because I mean, they won the dice roll, they went first, and they just had their curve. They had the whole thing, the Zoro Juro into Luffy Taro with Sanguro into Big Mom.
Yeah.
And I didn't have stage, so Big Mom was able to get rid of my Sanji Pudding. And but I did play this out on turn 2, or on my 4 Dawn turn, just to kind of have it out there, which let me, the turn I played this, swing double 7s,
Gotcha.
which then let me just play this on turn 4 and win.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Because I could tell they were bricked because for the second 7K swing, they gave me 3 1s. And so I'm like, well, I have a no board, and I'm staring down Sanguro, Zoro, Joro, Luffy, Taro, Lin with my like 1 life. So I just said, I either win here or I lose here.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I played it on 8 and was like, if it works, it works.
Yeah, you're like,
and
11-11? Question mark?
Because he didn't have the 2Ks when I swung the 7, so
That's awesome, man.
it worked out.
That's awesome. Good for you, dude. So got a couple questions in the chat. What was his record? 9-0. He was 9-0. He won today in the Booster Box Treasure Cup. And then Leroon was also saying, why Frankie instead of Zoro Juro? It's like the 3-cost Zoro Juro. When attacking?
So it's really, on the games you go first, you can Sanji Pudding, and then after you use leader effect, you can play the Frankie, which puts you back on 5 Dawn on play, which then lets you just play Luffy Taro on curve going first.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, Luffy Taro.
And it's like kind of interchangeable with the Chopper and the Frankie in that regard, but
Sure.
sometimes, like I said, just putting on the pressure, like especially in your deck like Zoro, where they've got a bunch of little things that you're going to want to swing into, it can't be better in a lot of cases, especially if you don't want to put your opponent in a position where they can kind of just try and ignore Chopper.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That makes a lot of sense. And
It's like with the Zoro Juro, you only get it when you attack, so it's like it's just, it doesn't fulfill the same role as like the Chopper does.
For sure. So another great question. What is your opinion on the blocker Robin instead of like the Chopper or?
So I like it, but I've just found that being able to maintain higher Dawn counts has been more helpful, especially because like in a lot of ways the Robin is like the opposite of Chopper, because you actively have to lose a Dawn on board in order to do the search. So there are times when you like want to do that, especially in the mirror, if you want to try and play around the 6-drop Luffy to be on low Dawn counts. But I don't know, I've just found that the being able to like give yourself more outs to playing the Luffy Taro on curve is more valuable.
Yeah. Okay. I can respect it. That's awesome, man. Well, dude, congratulations. I mean, I obviously you ran the gauntlet today. You played 9 different decks. You won 8 different decks. You know, round 1 by.
Yeah. We played the chair round 1.
Yeah, chair. So 8 different decks, insanely good. Crushed it, man. You got anything else to add?
I don't really think so. I mean, I got pretty lucky. Like I said, the Bonnie
I feel that.
bricked
Yeah.
really hard. So that was I didn't think I was gonna win that one, but then when they let the Zord or the kid go to an 8K attack with 6 cards in hand, it's looking bleak on their end.
It's pretty bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad. You're like, okay, yeah, you got it.
I don't really think there's a whole lot to say with this deck though, because
yeah,
you don't have a whole lot of tech spots. I don't think
it's tough. It's tight. I think
it's a pretty linear deck. I think the tech spots you have matter a lot.
For sure.
There just aren't many of them.
Yeah, like it's tough. I think that there is a flex for potentially running only 1 0 cost. I was running 3 of the 1 cost searcher event. I think it's fine, but I can understand why people run 4. I was running the Nico Robbins. I liked them, and I played a lot of mirrors, so it actually worked out really well for me. I played 4 mirrors, so I think that worked out.
True.
Yeah. So you got all the interesting decks. I got all the mirrors.
But you got mirrors. I saw you play at least 1 Lucci.
Yep, I played 2 Lucci
in my games.
Yeah, it was interesting, man. But that's awesome. I think that there is an argument to be made for a 4th Luna in the deck sometimes, but I think that 3.
Yeah, that card's it's insane.
It's nuts. It's definitely nuts. But I think 3 feels right, because I think 4 is a little greedy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 2's also greedy. I think that 3 just kind of feels right, but I don't know. It definitely saved me. It won me a game that I got very lucky. I triggered it, and I was like, hooray, I win.